A board-certified dermatologist in New York was asked one question: what moisturizer do you actually use on your own face? She has spent 15 years diagnosing skin conditions. She has reviewed the clinical data behind hundreds of formulas. She has sat through brand presentations where companies spend 40 minutes explaining proprietary extracts that peer-reviewed research does not support. She said, "I know exactly what is in those jars. That is precisely why I am not buying them." She is not alone. Every dermatologist on this list said the same thing in different words. And every product they personally use has three things in common: ceramides, no fragrance, and a price under $25. The first one you have walked past 100 times without stopping. CeraVe Moisturizing Cream, the blue tub. No influencer aesthetic, no celebrity face, no mythology about where the water was sourced. Just a formula built by dermatologists who understood one thing the luxury market has never fully accepted. Your skin barrier is not impressed by beautiful jars. It responds to ceramides. Your skin barrier is made up of cells held together by lipid molecules, and ceramides are the most critical of those lipids. When that barrier is intact, moisture stays in and irritants stay out. When it breaks down, your skin becomes reactive, dry, and vulnerable to everything from pollution to your own cleanser. Most luxury moisturizers spend their entire budget on fragrance, texture, and packaging rather than the ingredients that actually rebuild damaged skin. Tatcha. The dewy skin cream, sold at premium retailers for upwards of $60, leads with rice extract and hyaluronic acid, both genuinely useful, but also contains fragrance components and botanical extracts that the Environmental Working Group flags for skin sensitization. ESK2 Facial Treatment Essence, priced well above $150 at most retailers, markets itself around Patera, a yeast fermentation filtrate with some clinical backing, but independent reviews have questioned whether the clinical evidence behind its concentration justifies that price point. CeraVe puts the budget where it actually matters. Ceramides 1, 3, and 62 are the specific lipids your barrier uses to repair itself at the cellular level. Hyaluronic acid draws moisture in. Petrolatum locks it there. MVE technology releases moisturizing ingredients slowly over a full 24 hours, rather than evaporating off the surface within an hour of application. Fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, and carries the National Eczema Association seal of acceptance. At a fraction of the cost per ounce compared to La Mer pricing at nearly $200 per ounce, CeraVe contains more clinically backed barrier repair ceramides than the product most people consider the gold standard of luxury skincare. That is not a value comparison. That is a formulation comparison. The expensive jar lost on the ingredient that matters most. Dermatologists have publicly cited CeraVe as their personal daily moisturizer, including those who manage conditions like acne and eczema themselves. Several have described it simply as their favorite moisturizer, not their favorite affordable option, their favorite moisturizer, period. When someone who diagnoses skin conditions for a living puts a product under $20 above everything else at any price, that is the signal worth paying attention to. The second one surprises people most. No marketing presence, no celebrity partnerships, no dramatic shelf displays. Most Americans have walked right past it every time they have been to a pharmacy without ever noticing it exists. Vanicream was created in 1975 by pharmacists in Rochester, Minnesota, working directly alongside dermatologists whose patients kept reacting to everything else on the market. Include only what skin needs. Leave out everything that could cause a reaction. 5 decades later, that is still the product and still the philosophy behind every single ingredient decision. What separates Vanicream is the depth of its elimination process. The daily facial moisturizer contains multiple ceramide classes, more than most premium barrier creams at several times the price, alongside hyaluronic acid, squalane, glycerin, and phytosterols, plant-derived compounds that peer-reviewed research has shown actively support barrier recovery and reduce transepidermal moisture loss. And then there is what is not in the formula. No fragrance, no dyes, no parabens, no lanolin, no formaldehyde releasers, no botanical extracts, no essential oils. That last point matters more than most people realize. Botanical extracts are everywhere in premium skincare right now because they sound natural and justify elevated prices. Brands like Fresh, Kiehl's, and Drunk Elephant lean heavily into botanical ingredients as a core part of their identity. But dermatologists see the other side of that in their offices every day. Botanical extracts are one of the leading causes of allergic contact dermatitis in skincare users. Lavender oil, rose extract, citrus oils, even green tea, all commonly used, all capable of triggering immune responses in sensitive skin. Vanicream removes all of it because when the goal is zero reactions, zero is the only acceptable standard. According to the IQVIA ProVoice survey covering the 12 months ending July 2024, as cited by Vanicream, it is the #1 dermatologist-recommended brand for sensitive skin in the United States. Board-certified dermatologists have publicly stated they use it head to toe on themselves and on their children. $14. National Eczema Association, Seal of Acceptance, safe during pregnancy. Clean skincare brands charge $60 to $90 for a single ceramide class in minimalist packaging positioned as a clinical breakthrough. Vanicream has multiple ceramide classes and charges $14. The most boring-looking product in the pharmacy is almost always the most intelligent thing on the shelf. The third one does something the first two do not, and it is the reason dermatologists with reactive, acne-prone, or chronically inflamed skin keep coming back to it specifically. La Roche-Posay Toleriane Double Repair Face Moisturizer is the choice for anyone who wants barrier repair, active inflammation support, and continuous hydration in one lightweight step. The reason dermatologists personally reach for it comes down to something most brands have never seriously addressed: the skin microbiome. Your skin is home to trillions of microorganisms that play a direct role in how it heals and how resilient it stays over time. When that balance is disrupted by harsh cleansers, antibiotics, or overexfoliation, your skin becomes more reactive and slower to recover. La Roche-Posay has published clinical research on how the Toleriane formula supports microbial balance while simultaneously repairing the barrier. Most brands at any price point are simply not doing that level of work. Compare that to Clinique Moisture Surge, typically sold around $50 at department store counters, which relies on aloe, glycerin, and hyaluronic acid without meaningfully addressing ceramide deficiency or microbiome health. Or Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair, priced above $100 at most retailers, which has genuine antioxidant credentials, but carries ingredients that dermatologists flag as potentially irritating in a formula applied nightly to already compromised skin. Toleriane contains none of that friction. The formula contains ceramide 3, niacinamide, glycerin, and thermal spring water from a town in France with a naturally high concentration of selenium, a mineral with documented antioxidant and skin-calming properties. Niacinamide reduces redness, strengthens the barrier, regulates oil production, and improves uneven skin tone all at once. Most brands charge a premium for niacinamide alone. Toleriane bundles it with ceramide and selenium-rich spring water for $22. Fragrance-free, paraben-free, alcohol-free, allergy-tested, clinically verified 48-hour hydration with barrier repair beginning within 1 hour of application. Board-certified dermatologists have specifically cited the Toleriane line for its microbiome repairing properties and its ability to stay completely non-irritating even on acne-prone skin that cannot tolerate heavier textures. That is not a sponsored recommendation. That is a dermatologist describing what she reaches for herself. $22 at Target, Ulta, CVS, and Walgreens. CeraVe, Vanicream, La Roche-Posay, Toleriane. All under $25. All at the same stores currently selling you jars priced near $200 per ounce, built on a better story and a worse formula. The dermatologists who know skin best made their choice a long time ago. Now you have the same information they do.